Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where, as you can see, I've been looking at our naval deployments here, and we need to make a few updates to this, I feel like. So first off, we've definitely got this situation up here, where we probably want to move some ships to blockade Scotland a little bit and get that dealt with. Now, I don't think that these ships in the Cape of Africa are actually useful right now. They're supposed to be patrolling down here. I think that we move them up over here, like so. And we do that. So that'll be fine. We're going to want to redirect these submarines over here. I feel like they're not tremendously useful where they're at. Although more specifically, I want to move them down over here. So all I'm going to do is remove the Yellow Sea and Sea of Japan. And we're just going to do East and South China Seas for right now to support our invasions a little bit. We've also got this invasion support over here. And we're really going to want to get some additional blockading of Central to North America going on here. So I feel like Cape Verde Plain is still important until we deal with this, but Peruvian coast, I feel like, isn't tremendously important at this point, and I would like to move these guys up, I think, to the western seaboard. So we'll go ahead and do that. This is not going to be fully blockaded until we get at least 2 more fleets up here. And I'd like to move some of these around at some point, but I think right now is not exactly the time to do that. We can reorganize some of these and split up fleets like this one, and I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea. But for now, we'll leave that be. But this isn't the only reorganization that I wanted to do. We need to work on our strategic air map mode. Now that we have manpower, we are much, much better off in Central America if we go to jet fighters. So let's take a look at that, but before we do that, I want to hop over to Asia over here. Why do we have air superiority over the Great Steppe? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, cool. We're going to get rid of most of these planes over here. In fact, we're just going to disband these air wings. That'll net us a little bit of manpower gains, but honestly, we don't care about that. That is completely fine. I mean, getting the manpower gains will be handy, I suppose. Hello, console. Getting the manpower gains will be handy, I suppose, but it's not, strictly speaking, massively important. It's probably quicker to just use that slider, isn't it? Boom. Excellent. Okay. So we're just disbanding these wings for now and sending those airplanes back to the reserves. And none of these are jet fighters, so that should be fine. So we'll go ahead and do that. We do have some planes working down here. They're attached to these armies, and I'm going to leave them where they are at. Now, we are going into Macau over here, and we're going to take Hong Kong fairly soon. I am going to, I think, order a bit of a general attack over here. There we go. I'm going to order a bit of a general attack over here. And we'll see how that goes. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. And we're going to continue pushing in down over this way. We do want to attack up here. We're attacking Tasmania. That'll all be fine, but we still need to do a little bit more air work over here. Now, we've got some issues here. There's no doubt about that. These bombers, well, this airbase in general is wildly overtaxed. So, who is currently assigned to be out here? Well, first off, I think I'm just going to... Let's see, we've got these jet tactical bombers here. Was just checking to see if these were assigned to an army or not. Okay, these are not. Sure, I mean, these jet tactical bombers have a pretty wide range. I'm going to send them out over Central America. They're probably going to take some pretty major losses there, and I'm okay with that. But let's go ahead and get rid of all of our Fighter 3s here. Now, these are Jet Fighter 2s, and they're going to head to Central America for sure. And we're going to send out another wing of Jet Fighter 2s over here. Now, we do want to still have some coverage over South America here. I think that these 2,000 should, in theory, be sufficient, especially when you figure in these 1,000 as well. I think that'll be fine. So we're going to, let's see here, these are Jet Fighter Mark IIs here. We're going to move those up over to here. That will detach them from the army. I'm okay with that. And let's go ahead and update that. Okay, so that's 2,000 out of 1,200, sure. These bombers, I would like to move somewhere else, or perhaps just disband. Let me think about that. We do have these guys here, which are in a better location. Let's actually just disband these for right now. And let's bump up these Jet Fighter 2s. Well, actually, this is going to be 1,500. We're going to have to bump this down to 1,200, or to 200 here, to make that be correct. Now, we do have this base here, and you can see our range of our Jet Fighter 2s is pretty decent, and we have these 1,000 fighters here. I am currently thinking, let's see, close air support there, but we could maybe move these down over this way. These fighter wings do have good coverage here. Okay, let's go ahead and put in some Jet Fighter 2s over here, and I want to have a full 2,000 of them. I want these to be Jet Fighter 2 Mark IIs, so like these. We've got 13,000 of those for right now, so that's plenty. We'll take that up to 1,000, and we will create another wing here. And those will also be Jet Fighter Mark IIs, which I think were higher up than I expected them to be. But not here. Here. Okay. Here they are. Fantastic. So we'll put in Jet Fighter 2 Mark IIs, and that will be 1,000 of those. Wonderful. Both of these will go into air superiority over Central America. Now, we can also put in some additional cheap Fighter 3s here. We can only put in 350 of those, but let's go ahead and do that. So our Fighter 3s, I think, are down over this direction-ish. Yeah, I'd love Fighter 3 Mark IIs. So, like, these guys are actually, specifically these guys. We've got 130,000 of them. That is insane. So we're going to go for 350 of those. And these guys, of course, are going to air superiority out over Central America. Okay, so what have we got here? 2,000. Yeah, this looks okay-ish. And then that should fill out. So these guys, are they set to Central America? Yeah, I believe they are. They just haven't showed up yet. Okay, so we'll just do that for the time being. And then as far as this up here goes, I do feel like we should probably put in some standard Fighter 3s up here. So these are heavy Fighter 3s. Let's see here. Here we go. These are the guys we're looking for. We're going to put in 1,000 of those, and I suspect that that will be enough. We'll find out. Okay. So we'll send those on in. And we're not too concerned about this situation up here right now, but that's fine. We are continuing to push in over this direction, and how is this going? These guys are not currently retreating. Do we have anybody coming in over here? These guys are all retreating right now. No, we don't. So I'm going to send these guys here to come in and attack here. I want to push them back. Excellent. We can see that they've definitely pulled units from this front. So I'm going to select this division and tell them that their goal is to offensive line, like right here. For now. They can execute that, but they're probably not going to be very effective at it. We're going to tell them to carefully execute that. Okay. So that should be good. Let's check in on the rebellion zone over here. It'll be a bit yet. Sounds good. We do have this unassigned infantry division, and I'm going to assign that up to the Scottish front. We only have one more unit that we can assign in there, so that sounds good to me. Excellent. I just want to double check that they don't have any naval bases out over this way. I mean, they've got Greenland up there, and that is a potential option for them to move through. Yeah, we should consider that. This is still important. As soon as we finish crushing this, I feel like we should go blockade Greenland. Or maybe with this force. That might be a better idea, actually. What if we just did that? That could work. We'll see how that goes. Okay, down here. We can see that we are failing an attack here. We'll go ahead and support that with a nuke and an attack here. Excellent. And we're failing an attack here, which we'll support with a nuke as well. Okay, now we're not expecting too much from these forces down here at this time, and that is because supply limits are just hot garbage down here right now. Just absolute trash. So that is unfortunate for us, to be sure. As far as this up here goes, it looks like we do have air superiority, so we'll just go ahead and support this attack with a nuke. And I'm going to take these guys and tell them aggressively attack. We'll support them with nukes. So we'll do that. Excellent. Okay, it looks like we need additional nuke support over here. And we're just expecting the Scottish front to collapse quite quickly here. I'm using nukes fairly liberally here, and that is deliberate. Excellent. Okay, we'll come back to that. I want to check in over this way. We'll support this attack. This is a potential problem. They're retreating. Okay, never mind. That is not a problem. We're still having difficulties over here. We'll support that. Republic of Vietnam has capitulated. Okay, so let's head on over here, see what's going on there. That seems to be fine. This army should be assigned back to this front, although this is an extremely narrow front. And supply-wise, it's kind of grim over this way. So there is that. These guys have also forgotten what their offensive line was, which was simply down here. However, that's the Russian Federation that controls that. Huh. Oh, it's because we control this territory here. Right. Okay. Everyone here, with the possible exception of these guys, let's deselect them. Everyone else here, let's come on down straight like this. Get in there. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be wildly overkill, and there's a lot of attrition in this area, but I just want to push through this territory as quickly as possible. Now, as far as this goes, I was hoping that someone would have grabbed Macau by now, but actually, that's Greater Portugal's. Yeah, this is our territory. Cool. Come on down. So, what does an attack here look like? It looks fine. Well, less fine now. Okay. I want these guys to go ahead and aggressively attack. Do they actually have an offensive line here? It's very hard to see. I'm going to delete all of their orders, and we're going to recreate their front line here. And we're going to try to offensive line it like that. Okay, now I'm sure that they have an offensive line. There. They'll just keep aggressively attacking Hong Kong and keep that under siege for a while. Should be fine. Now, as far as these guys over here go, we've got their attacks launching in a few days. More than a few days in some cases. As far as Scotland goes, we're going to continue to remove these enemy resistances. Fantastic. Scotland made a mistake. Oh, this isn't even our nuke up here. But Scotland definitely made a mistake. Now, let's check in on the air war over here in Central America. This is looking better, but it's not ideal. Certainly. We could probably put in more jet fighters down here, and let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put in 2,000 total jet fighters down here, and we want specifically jet fighter Mark IIs, and I guess these will do. We'll put that in. I'll put in another round of them. They're in here somewhere. Here we go. And jet fighter 2s. That'll do. And we'll just bump that up to 1,000 and 1,000. Yeah, I know that our allies have some planes here, but it should be fine. We're going to set both of these to air superiority over Central America. Okay. Now we should have reach to do the same from here. So let's go ahead and do that as well. I want to get a lot more planes in here. So jet fighter 2s. And jet fighter 2s, which are down this way. That's too far, I think. Where are they? I really wish there was a search box in this. That would be amazing if there was. Paradox, if you watch this channel, please add a search box to this. Paradox doesn't watch this channel. I'm well aware of this. Okay, so here we go. This is more like what we're looking for. Okay. So we're going to deploy 1,000 of these and then 800 in this other. So we'll do it like that. Okay, and they are going to be on air superiority over Central America. They can't reach the whole thing, but that's fine. So we'll get those deployed. And in theory, that should help things over here a bit. You can see here, we are already outperforming the enemy. Interestingly, they aren't putting their entire amount of planes here in. That's very interesting to me. Scotland called in Sierra Leone. Okay, so that does cause some issues for us. We're going to want to crush this very quickly. Anyone who is currently here, come on in. Anyone who is currently here does have a small border. Okay. You guys, come on over. We're going to continue nuking this like 4 times in a row. Stop moving. I'm going to actually move these guys into a new army here. I know this is getting really messy, but we're going to do this and tell them offensive line like that. We're going to toss these guys in as well. Okay. We're just going to keep nuking this. Senegal has capitulated. Sweet. Okay, so that is great for us. We're keeping on pushing in over this way. I think that we should probably redraw this front or this offensive line here. That is not the offensive line. That's the offensive line. And specifically, we're going to put this offensive line as being here. Okay. Go ahead and execute that. I mean, this might actually be a good thing for us that these guys were called in. This is a level 3 naval base, which will help our supply flow over here pretty dramatically. We're just repeatedly nuking this at this point. Kaboom. Okay. Everyone assigned. Senegal capitulated again. Oh, that's Scotland. Scotland capitulated. That is a very big deal. Everybody get in here except for you guys. I want you guys to finish this defense and get in here. Perfect. Now, attack here. Beautiful. Okay. So this should be dealt with at this point. That's wonderful. This situation here, we clearly need a nuke in this location. So we'll get that in there. These guys are making their way in. We need a nuke here. And then I'm going to nuke here and here. Select these guys. Come on in. Okay, so these guys have decided to stop coming in. Come on in, guys. I promise you, They do not have much left after all those nukes. I'm going to do one more round of nukes here, but it looks like there might not be anyone left here. Fascinating, if true. Mutinies in the army. Okay, we're going to hold a patriotic speech. This is fine. We don't care about that political power. Interestingly, we're walking in, but this guy doesn't seem to be retreating. Like, they're not retreating at all. We're just walking in. Huh. Okay, so we can see that there's definitely been some awkwardness that has opened up over here. This, if we can push in here, and in fact, we have pushed in. So this is all cut off up here. This should have no real supply flow other than from this capital. So that's a thing. Fascinating. How many troops do we have over here? Only 6. Sure. We're going to drop a nuke here. We're going to drop a nuke here. And Scotland should be basically gone at this point. Head on in here. You can head on in here as well. Beautiful. All of these troops, of course, are going to go back into the European Coast Guard after they're done here. Okay, so that's cleaned up. This is going to be cleaned up shortly. Are these guys retreating? Yes. Perfect. What do we got going on over here? This is still awkward, to be sure. Wait, is there technically a border here? I bet you anything that's what's happening here. Yup. There's technically a border right here between these two, and so it was bypassing this province. Fascinating. Okay, we're just going to nuke this a couple more times. We don't see any enemies here, so there's no point. Let's keep these nukes flying. Perfect. And they're retreating. Gorgeous. You can see here we're winning across these fronts now. That is beautiful. So we've almost got Africa cleaned up again. Hello, pause menu. We do have this ready to be sent out. We'll just add him into, I guess, this force. Should be fine. These guys will, of course, go back into the European Coast Guard. Let's see. Scotland is not cleaned up yet. Get in there, stack wipe them. This is a guaranteed stack wipe here. Perfect. There we go. Scotland is cleaned up. And then as far as this goes over here, looks like we could use another nuke here. Kaboom. Excellent. And we have supply flow down through here now as well. So supplies should not be a problem over here, or at least not nearly as much of a problem. It's still a bit of a problem, I suppose, but not a huge problem. These guys are going to get their offensive line as being just up here. They can execute that. And these guys are going to get their offensive line as being the same. They can execute that as well. Okay. So these guys should have no supply flow anymore. This should be a clean wipe. Sierra Leone has capitulated. That is wonderful. Looks like they were trying to land additional troops over here. Specifically, Scotland was. That's funny. Although, oddly... well, they were trying to move the troops into a port that they controlled. That wasn't a naval invasion. And they're going to lose that. These guys are going to be folded back into this force here. Yes, I'm aware that that army will be disbanded. That's fine. Excellent. How are things going over here? Have we finished this? Kind of? Looks like there are no further troops over here, but we want to frontline like over here and just offensive line down to here like that. Get in there. Finish that off. So Asia's going to be done there. We're still working on sieging Hong Kong. Republic of Mali has capitulated. Perfect. Looks like that is over. And any units that might be over here should be now redirected over to here. Magnificent. Okay, so this army I'm going to go ahead and put back into the South African Coast Guard, which will be expanded to Coast Guard all of this. And that should be fine. Who is set to Coast Guard this over here? That's the North African Coast Guard, who should really be Coast Guarding like to like there. And then we'll go to the South African Coast Guard, which was one of these guys. That's Army 2. There we go. That's the South African Coast Guard. They are going to not be responsible for any of this over here. Okay. Excellent. And now this force here, we're going to delete any and all of their orders. And we're going to tell them frontline here and also frontline over here. Odd that it doesn't allow us to do both. Oh, these guys are neutral, aren't they, up here? Yeah, that's neutral. Okay, so we're going to delete this order. And we're going to tell all of them to frontline here. And then they'll simply offensive line something kind of like this. Okay, sounds good. So over they head, and we'll have that cleaned up momentarily. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to turn our attention elsewhere. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.